debunk the entire thing.
Yeah. So I just, on my end, I'm like, there's a shit ton of noise. And whenever there is that much noise, Mexico chupacabras, here.
Yeah, I like talking with the physicists about it, the people that look at it based on whatever evidence scientifically they can find. Like my friend Dr. David Kipping, who's over at Columbia, does an amazing job. I had him in for episode 358, and he's looked at exoplanets his whole life, which is basically, I'm oversimplifying this, but finding planets that are extremely far away and looking for intelligent life on them. And when you consider just the tip of the iceberg of what we know about the known galaxy, and then consider that is, I don't have a mathematical number for you, but nowhere near what the size of it actually is. Of course, out there, and that's just how I put it as a layman. Of course, there's intelligent life. Of course, there's something else going on. All the things that had to go right here from an environmental, probabilistic, evolutionary standpoint for us to be able to exist as we do on this planet make it a very small chance. But when you then look at how big everything else is, that had to happen in some form somewhere else. The question then becomes if they've been here, which I'm open to, or whether or not this is some form of simulation with all of it, which unfortunately I'm really open to. We're just someone else's video game or something like that. I could see that.
It's too easy. That's too easy.
It would be. That's what I hope is the case. It's too easy of an explanation. But I personally believe there had to be a creator that built all this because it's just fucking amazing. But, I just try to separate. I don't know. I had some moments in here with certain guests where I was like, wait a minute. That's bullshit. Yeah. Where you just try to separate, okay, who's coming out and saying things, and what are they saying, and when are they saying them, and why does that feel really weird, and why is my gut doing a 5-alarm fire? So let's stay away from that, and then let's talk to people, like I said, like the physicists who are like, all right, they're looking at evidence here.
Yep.
Zeros and ones, yeses and nos, maybe, whatever. And I don't know, it's more fun for me to talk with those guys. Yeah. But the personal experiences are always...
I mean, mine's weird, and whenever I talk about it, which I don't regularly talk about, it's I think it's the first time I spoke about it publicly. Nice. I always preface it with hey, I've had injuries, but fucking probably kind of drunk maybe because I was drinking before that night.
Your buddy looking up though is interesting.
It gives me chills because you when you see something like that, you're like, nah, I didn't see that, and it's a good way for your brain to hey, calm down. Right. Probably didn't see that. But when you turn around and your friends look up at this guy, the same thing, and he's like,
oh, shit.
So, the only reason I brought it up is because we see these things, like these people up there, floating around. And again, it might be a whole psyop. I don't know. Might be a whole psyop, and maybe we're alone in the universe. We're special. God just made us.
Was that a fake picture of Trump the other day? I did zero homework on this. It was a fake, with the two blonde people. That's not real, right? They had him in the Rose Garden talking with two fucking Nordics.
Oh yeah,
there's
the Nordic, the Nordics, the insectoids, the Greys. There's some more ethereal ones. Apparently, they're like clouds. There's a lot of weed.
Yeah, my friend Max, who I see in my gym every day, is always asking me, "Come on, man, you think this is real?" And I'm like, Max, I feel like I'm telling him Santa Claus isn't real with some of this, but at the same time, there's other shit. You're like, they wouldn't tell us about this if they knew. I mean, maybe Men in Black is based on truth.
Yeah, that whole uncanny valley thing we have going on. Mm-hmm. Hey, you're not really human. I don't know, dude. I don't know. That's another thing. This. There's a lot of noise around that everywhere. Mm-hmm. They brought in some of those mummies into Congress in Mexico.
Oh yeah, I just had a guy on about that. Yeah.
They looked like these.
The Nazca mummies.
Yeah, but the ones that the specific ones they brought in were the worst version of those. Mm-hmm. They look like piñatas.
Will Brown did an amazing job. He's been on that case in person at the press conferences and stuff for years, and debunked the entire thing.
Yeah. So I just on my end, I'm like, there's a shit ton of noise, and whenever there is that much noise, Mexico chupacabras, here the classification of Banana Republic shit. Yeah. Welcome to the Donkey Show. Yeah. Welcome to the Donkey Show. But you see a lot of that. You're like, okay, so what are they trying to distract us about? Get that UFO. What's behind that UFO? I don't know.
We went from Epstein to announcing aliens to Iran to missing scientists to more aliens to more Iran problems to try to bury Epstein. But what are they burying that with? Like,
yeah,
it never ends.
Yeah.
It never ends.
It never ends. Well, it will in a few years, and somebody else is going to get elected, and let's see what else.
God help us all.
Can cover.
But by the way, what was this? You put this. You just slid this right in here before we got on camera. We were hanging out all morning, and then literally right before we press roll on the first episode, you put up the La Santa Muerte and some Mexican occult looking stuff. What's going on here?
It's a death card.
It's a death card.
Yeah.
You trying to make sure I'm dead?
No.
Okay.
One of the cultural differences between the U.S. and Mexico are Mexican culture before the Spanish came was cyclical. Yeah, it wasn't about good versus evil or the devil triumphing against God. There's no fight against good versus evil. It's a cycle. People get really good, everything gets really amazing, people get complacent, the devil shows up, things get fucked up, we get destroyed, strong people show up, then we go back. So we have a very strong relationship to death. We don't want to be immortal. We're not obsessed with youth. Not all of us, but most of us aren't. There's a whole preparation for death. This isn't about viewing it as a saint or thinking there's a fucking skeleton in the sky fucking doing any favors. This is about having death present in your life. It's a philosophy. It actually comes from Catholicism in Mexico, even though it turned into something else later. The way I learned about it was through my mother. She would say that death was an essential part of the miracle of the crucifixion. There is no, ascension from the underworld for Jesus on the third day without death. So you have to keep it present. We have this tendency to view ourselves as special individuals, and we don't realize that all of us have to die, that things have to change, that things have to go away, that sacrifices need to be made. And this country has an obsession with youth. Epstein has all that shit.
Why'd you have to go there?
Don't worry about it.
I was thinking.
But realistically, well, when you see that, when you see that at an exaggerated level, that's what you get. For me, this is just a reminder that we're here for a while. That we're here for a short while. That we don't really have a lot of time we don't really have a lot of time to stay here, and that if you're not doing work or working towards leaving a better place than we got, you're not really doing a lot. That's what that means to me. So I'm always thinking about the message. I'm always thinking about the end because I need to get things settled for what comes next.
You were telling me earlier, and I remember we had a nice talk last time you were here where we went through a lot of your personal story and a lot of the hardships you went through and things like that, and your brother dying when you were 13. But you and I were talking off camera today when we were eating lunch about a moment you had with your mom shortly after your brother died, where you walked up to the house and your mom was on the porch and smiled, and then the smile went away because for a minute she had thought you were your brother.
Yep.
And you felt like that you wanted to have that feeling. You wanted your mom to have that feeling about you. Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but you were saying that put you on like I forget the phrase you used, but something like
that was my lightning strike.
Yeah.
Like all of us have one of those, I think. Well, at least the cool ones that I've met over the years have a moment like that.
But it gave you, the way you were explaining it, almost felt like you were saying it gave you a kind of death wish so that she could have that feeling about you.
My middle brother, Eric, was amazing. It was a promise one, His funeral was like a concert. Shit ton of people showed up. I ran away a little bit after that whole event because my mom went kind of psychiatric. And at one point I decided to go back home, And as I made my way into the street light in front of my house, she looked at me with excitement. And I thought, oh, she's excited that I came back. And then disappointment. And I realized that she thought it was an apparition of my brother. You know, that led me into like, oh, let me figure out how to die in the most epic way possible. They finally pay attention to me, I guess. Was my twisted lightning strike that I got that moment. And I ended up in such a place and such experiences that I'm not here talking to you. You know, it put me on a path. For me, and again, part of the meaning behind that and the cyclical nature of that, I wanted to die epically somewhere or die somewhere. I didn't have the balls to do it myself, or I didn't see that as powerful enough. So I chose to go into a weird career path that would put me on a pretty clear way of doing that. The bullets missed. You know, I was never the guy. A few times I was pretty close.
You wanted to be?
Yeah. I was looking for it for years. I had this whole concept of dying at 33. You know, before 33, I'm going to kick it somehow.
Jesus year or Freemason year?
Jesus year.
Okay, that's good.
I had a plan and everything. I was going to tie myself with a chain to my truck and drive it into a reservoir if I didn't manage to do it anyway.
Jesus.
Didn't happen that way. A shit ton of stuff happened that was contrary to that, and specifically my daughter being born was the main thing that happened.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Once your heart is out of your chest and walking around, you need to stay, I think. So I had to do, and I'm still doing, a lot of work on myself to try and you don't realize how many self-destructive ways you have. You know, one is your job is one way of being self-destructive. The food you eat, the alcohol you consume, the drugs you take, the women you frequent. All of these are ways of killing ourselves. And you know, usually at the bottom of all that is a self-hatred, which I've had for years after that event that I had with my mom.
Do you think you've gotten rid of that?
No.
It's still very much there, or is it diminished at least?
It is being sewn together, I think, by two things. My daughter's helping me heal that because she's about to go through the 13s and the teens. So my whole mindset is I don't want her to repeat what I had to go through.
Thank you guys for watching the episode. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and smash that like button on the video. They're both a huge, huge help. And if you would like to follow me on Instagram and X, those links are in my description below.